It's that time in the development cycle of Project Cars 2. The leaks start and the hype train gets moving. New brands and tracks are announced slowly. There is massive media coverage, all of it focusing on stupid details. The people who will play the game on the long term get zero useful information, while the compulsive buyers get their dose of eye candy. It sucks, and it takes the attention away from the really important stuff. It's nice to know about the new cars, tracks and game modes, but that should never eclipse the really important stuff. We should be hearing about the improvements done over the original game. Grab Project Cars 1, fix all the stuff that is not working, improve a bit the driving itself, and you have a really good racing game. And I mean really good. The idea of the next videos is to explain what are the main improvements needed to make the sequel worth buying. This is the stuff that should take every minute of development work if you ask me. Let's start with one of the things that made the original game frustrating very often, the lack of polish in the tire compounds. Some cars in the original game were completely ruined by the way the different compounds worked. There were both problems that affected the specific cars and problems that spread across many classes. First, we'll see an example of a car that was plagued by specific problems. I am talking about the Formula B. Recently, I have tried the game again to get a fix of organized racing, and I was reminded of how broken this car was. There is a slick compound called Gyro Medium that behaves in very strange ways. It is both faster and more durable than the soft tire, making it pointless, so you are sort of forced to use it. And now comes the worst part, you are forced to use a compound that I can only describe as broken. Let's see some of its traits. This is how the Gyro behaves out of the pits. Keep an eye on the grip levels, this is as fast as you can go. To display how ridiculous this is, now I'll do an outlap on a track completely flooded with a cold rain tire. As you can see, the Gyro Slick just doesn't have normal levels of initial grip. There's more, the tire wear levels have nothing to do with what the tire indicator says. This is footage with accelerated tire wear, 4 times the normal wear, to display this more easily. After 10 minutes driving this tire, I am doing low 139s. By now, the tire that works the most here, the front left, is showing around 50% life. The car keeps getting faster as the fuel goes down. Let's see what happens as the tire gets more mileage. The front left is showing around 33% life after 13 minutes of driving. The pace is still pretty much the same, and the car feels identical to when I left the pits. We are approaching 15 minutes of driving, and that will be an hour with normal wear levels. Let's fast forward to the end of next lap, and see how things will look like for this tire after a full hour of running. One more lap, we reach 15 minutes and the front left is showing around 25% life. The tire remains completely static lap after lap, even with the accelerated tire wear. The bars for the other 3 tires start getting marginal too, but I have exactly the same braking, traction and lateral grip levels I had in the first lap. At the end of this lap, I had to call it a day. There is barely anything left on the front left bar. The other 3 tires have plenty of wear too, and as you can see, if I hook a good lap, I can still set the fastest lap of the stint. So, after what will be more than 1 hour of driving, this tire is still as good as new. Initial grip levels and durability are not okay, but the worst part is that this tire bugs the force feedback. Keep an eye on the crazy vibrations in the braking zones. The wheel wants to shake itself to pieces. And that's not me messing with my hands. Look at the force feedback graphic on the top left corner. And this is not a weird one-off problem. It will keep repeating over and over in long runs. It will just happen randomly sometimes when you brake hard. This makes driving this car really hard. You cannot predict when it's going to happen, and something as trivial as turning when you want is a challenge. It also makes more likely a double downshift as your fingers vibrate. I have spun the car this way already. This is a car that has all sorts of special problems, but there is stuff not working across many classes. Pretty much any time a car has multiple dry compounds, the soft is the only useful one. Durability is too high, wear doesn't kick in gradually, and if the layout overheats the tires, you still get away with using the softest tire available. There is no strategy needed, you just run the soft no matter the track, weather or length of the race. If you stick to real tire wear, the soft will last for a full fuel tank in pretty much every car. Only the use of high tire wear multiplayers can sort of improve this, and that's not normal. Real wear should mean real wear. Players should not have to experiment for hours to find what multiplier can make the races fun or believable. What you are seeing at the moment is a car flying with tires completely overheated. Keep an eye on the grip levels and the balance, they are perfectly fine despite the extreme temperatures. Another problem that happens across many classes is related to the wet tires. There are 3 levels of standing water in this game: light rain, rain and storm. There is also thunderstorm, but it's just cosmetic. The grip levels always look to me identical to the normal storm. The problem is simple: intermediate tires do not work in most classes. This is light rain, and I'll do some hot laps with the intermediate compound. Let's see the lap times I can get. The grip levels look decent, but the tire is overheating a bit. Now, let's try the slicks in the same conditions. The first lap on them is 3 seconds faster. Looks like light rain isn't enough for inters. Let's move to rain now. The tire has stopped overheating and it feels reasonable. Maybe these are the conditions it needs. Just to make sure, let's try the full quad now. First lap, and I take 3 full seconds of my previous lap time. When am I supposed to use the intermediate then? This makes no sense. They should be dedicating huge resources to get this right next time, and they should be talking about whatever progress they have made here. Problems with the compound's behavior extend to many other areas. You can build the best ever dynamic weather in the world, but if your intermediate or wet tires are useless, it is worth nothing. If all dry weather compounds except the soft are useless, it doesn't matter how realistic your dynamic track feature is and how it reacts to temperatures. You can give players all the options in the world to customize their races. If you don't get tire wear levels right, long races are going to be pointless, or at least not as good as they could be. You can build the best AI ever. If they don't struggle with tire wear to a similar degree than the player, only sprint races are going to be enjoyable in single player mode. As you can see, issues in this area can affect quite badly many other things. That was all. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be talking about more areas where SMS should focus on. If you have your own ideas for stuff that you consider critical to improve, leave a comment. Thanks for watching.